What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason. So, chugging along, I really want to get this thing done before the weather gets bad. It's a beautiful fall day. I've got a couple hours, so we're going to keep working on this old white truck here. Now, the transmission is rebuilt, but it needs quite a bit of other work in the drivetrain also. The freeze plug in the back of the passenger side head is leaking. The motor mounts are totally shot. The power steering pump is garbage. What else was there? It needs new exhaust manifold gaskets. It's got a bunch of broken off exhaust manifold bolts. Several other things too. So it's going to be faster and easier for me to just pull the entire drivetrain out of this thing, do all the work I need to do, swap the transmission, and then put it all back in, than it will be to replace the motor mounts, replace the transmission mount, swap the transmission, and all that stuff. It's going to be way easier to just get the whole drivetrain out, do the work I need to do to the drivetrain, and then put it all back in. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how well you can see me or not, but I've got the engine ready to come out. I'm going to see if I can't sneak it out without taking the hood off, just because I don't have anybody to help me take the hood off right now. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Hopefully it'll come out. It should. It's unbolted. Good morning, everybody. So it's the next day. I did manage to sneak the engine, transmission, the drivetrain out of the truck last night without taking the hood off. The biggest factor to be able to do that is I took the intake manifold off. That gave me more room to lift the engine and tip it back in order to sneak it out of there. So I'm waiting on some gaskets. I'm gonna put new head gaskets in it just because I don't want to have to worry. I don't want to take any chances on this one. And a set of head gaskets is like $100. So I'm gonna put new head gaskets on it. New rear main seal. I'm gonna do the pump rub fix in the transfer case. Obviously swap my rebuilt transmission on. And let me show you, like, this is the main reason that I knew I was gonna have to work on this thing. But that freeze plug is completely gone out of that cylinder head on the front and on the rear. I've never seen that happen before. I don't know if somebody did it on purpose, which I kind of doubt it, because usually if they take them out, they're left in the block or they punch them into the head. But we've got that. Now I have a set of 243 heads sitting in there on the shelf that I didn't have anything else to do with, so I'm gonna put those on this thing. But I did notice also, can you see it? This is not the original engine. It's got an LKQ warranty stamp on the back of that cylinder head. So it's not the original engine. Who knows how many miles are on it? I don't know. It runs good and has good oil pressure. That's all that matters to me. And yeah, I'm probably going to get it cleaned up while I have it out too. I already went ahead, put the new motor mounts on it, so that'll take care of that. Somebody butchered the main power wire to the starter. I think I got a spare one around here somewhere, so I'll replace that. And then get all this other stuff done while I'm waiting for the rest of my parts to get here tomorrow. I'm probably going to pressure wash the engine, pressure wash the engine bay. I mean, this has got to be one of the grimiest engine compartments I've seen. So I'm going to get that cleaned up too, just to make it a little easier, a little nicer to work on. I discovered last night also, I've got a replacement brake line section in here, but they used compression fittings. I am not okay with compression fittings on brake systems, so we'll fix that. We'll get a flare, a union, and get some flared ends on there the way it should be. So yeah, lots to do, most of it not very exciting, so I'll bring you back in a little while with an update.
20 minutes later.
So I am going to make a couple upgrades while I have this thing apart. One of those upgrades is I got some stainless steel headers for it. The largest reason being, you know, towing is hard work. So I want to get the exhaust gases out of and away from the engine as quickly and efficiently as possible. So headers do that better than manifolds. They'll keep my under hood temperatures down a bit. Not to mention, you know, there's a little bit of performance advantage to them. Probably not much, maybe 5 horsepower, but it'll make me feel better and it'll keep it cooler under the hood, which will help keep the engine cooler. And that's really what I want to do. So I've seen people have bought headers and they have interference issues with the little ears on the side of the 4L80E here. So I want to do a test fit on my headers with it currently as it is, make sure everything clears, and then I'll finish pulling the transmission off, get the new transmission bolted on. I'll do the rear main seal as well while I have it apart. All right, everybody. So I'm glad I did this test fit, because you can see my header is contacting this ear of the transmission. Now, I can cut that off, and it'll be way easier to do it now outside of the truck than it will be trying to fit it up when it's in there. So I'll trim this off on the other transmission, and I'll do a test fit on the other side header as well. All right, so I got the driver's side on. Driver's side clears, no problem. Plenty of space. So that was the last test fit I really wanted to do. I'm gonna get the wire harness off the transmission, get the cooling lines disconnected, and then get the transmission off the engine and start doing everything I need to do to the engine. All right, team, we're back. It's the next day again. things are just not cooperating with me today. It's raining outside. My new head gaskets were supposed to be delivered today. At USPS, who is delivering them doesn't know where they are. And I can't find any head gaskets at any of the local auto parts stores. Essentially, everybody I've talked to, and I've exhausted every option I can think of, nobody can get me anything until Tuesday. Today's Saturday. And I don't want to wait that long. I've already got this engine apart. Next weekend is Thanksgiving, so I want to have this thing put back together before then. So we're going back to a lot of where this channel started at. Copper sprayed head gaskets. We're reusing the ones that came off of there. They're the multi-layer steel gaskets. I mean, they worked in the 6-liter in the CUCV. That's just got copper sprayed head gaskets in it, so I'm sure this will be fine also. And I'm going to put in these 243 heads from an LS4. I pulled these out of the junkyard last year. They were in a... I can't remember what they were in. But they were on an LS4 in a car. I wanted the heads. I pulled them off. Saw them while I was there. And as far as I can tell, they're good heads. So I'm going to pop the valve covers off because these are different. Spray one more layer of copper spray on my head gaskets. Give everything, the block surfaces, the head surfaces, a good wipe down. And then get this thing bolted back together. Copper sprayed head gaskets and reused head bolts, team. Let's get after it.
Several days later.
All right, team. So I've got my #1 helper over here assisting me. New transmission is ready. Well, rebuilt transmission is ready to go in. I've got my remanufactured torque converter in there. It's a stock remanufacture. It stalls like 200 or 300 RPM higher than a stock converter. So it's nothing special. It's just a normal torque converter. Now when I make these back up, you probably... Oh my goodness, let's find you a rag. Alright, so when I put these things back together, I put just a film of anti-seize around the dowel pins and on the flat surface of the block. If you've ever tried to pull one of these things apart, especially like an original one that's now 15, 16, 18, 20 years old, Ellie, use the rag and wipe it. See it's on the ground? So I put a light film around the dowel pins and along the flat mating surface on the back of the block. Just in case I ever need to get this apart again, that'll make it way, way easier. And I'm gonna put just a little dab of anti-seize on the bolts also when I put them in. Do you need a little help? Where's the other bar? See, do this, it makes it longer. Whoop. Okay, do a couple more. Oh, yep, keep going. We gotta go higher. There you go. Keep going, Ellie. I'm gonna get some bolts. It's too heavy. Here, off. Right here, you pull down. We'll do it together. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I will give credit to where it's due. Whoever did the engine swap in this thing when they put this engine in, I'm actually pretty impressed. They did a pretty good job. All of the critical components and critical fasteners, they actually had them all put back where they belong and tightened down, and the right number of them. They didn't like skimp out on putting all the fasteners back. I'll adjust my lift points and then get it picked up higher so I can put the torque converter bolts in. I'm just reusing all the stock fasteners here, team, nothing special.
4 to 6 days later.
So let me walk you through my super high tech, very, very safe, no risk at all drivetrain tilting, leveling, insertion setup. So obviously I have my 2-ton folding engine hoist. I have a chain running from the water pump to the output housing of the transfer case. The hook for the hoist is right at the balance point of the chain. So when the engine's hanging off of it, it's pretty much balanced front to back weight-wise. Now, in order to tilt the drivetrain down, because I need to kind of slide it in and under, while at the same time keeping the oil pan up high enough to clear my radiator support and front differential, I'm using a ratchet strap attached to the hoist arm and the harmonic balancer to raise the front of the engine, effectively tipping the rear of the engine down. It's working so far. We'll see if it works well enough to actually get this thing back in there. I think the hardest part is going to be getting the output shaft of the transfer case up into position, because it needs to slide over top of the torsion bar cross member in order to get everything pushed back where it needs to be. So probably be an exercise in frustration. Let's get started. Actually went way smoother than I expected it to. I thought it was going to be a battle to get it back in there all as one unit without a proper engine tilter leveler, but I reset my chains one time and it slipped right in there. So it's sitting on the motor mounts bolted down, it's sitting on the transmission mount bolted down. I've got everything electrical and mechanical hooked back up underneath. So now it's just a matter of getting everything else done. I got to get the header slid into place, get the rest of the electrical connected up, power steering, transmission cooler, radiator cooling system, all the other extraneous stuff. So I'll get all that hooked up and then I'll bring you back. It's boring, you can't see much, so I'm not gonna waste time recording it. All right, well, not terrible, not great. My power steering fluid cooler is leaking, so I'll need to get a new replacement for those. I'll look and see if any of the stuff I have here has a decent cooler on it, but if not, I'll just get a new one coming. Working on getting all the air bled out of the power steering system. Working on getting the transmission filled all the way up. Engine oil is good. Once the oil got up to operating temperature, the engine quieted right down. No lifter tick or anything, so that's good. For the most part, pretty good. Just a few little other odds and ends that I need to get fixed up now.
4 to 6 more days later.
All right, everybody. Well, I got to end this video somewhere. Things haven't gone to plan. And, you know, I'm just going to wrap this one up. We'll pick up on the next video. Engine runs great. The transmission is not functioning. So, for now, it's at a loss. I got to try to figure it out. I got to do more diagnosis, talk to some people that know more about these things than I do, because It's got a symptom that I've never seen or experienced before, and everything I have the ability to test, I can't find anything wrong. So once I get it figured out, I'll be sure to update you, but that'll have to be in another video. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I am excited to get this thing driving. I'm not going to give up on it, and hopefully you're interested in seeing what it is that I didn't know, and we can all learn together. Thanks again, everybody. Until the next video, take care.